Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And today we are going to be reacting and analyzing the trailer for Street Woman Fighter Season 2. Now I have seen this once before, but I'm gonna take another look at it with this kind of lens. Kind of give my thoughts on what to expect for the season. I do know a couple of people, not everybody, but I do know a few people that are in the show, not personally, but I've watched their work over the years. So I am curious how it's going to be tailored to this type of show. Okay, so without further ado, let's take a watch. Bunch of tears. There's gonna be a lot of tears. I know there will. A lot of pride checks too. I have that feeling as well. When you get a lot of heavy hitters in the same room, you're gonna have a lot of pride checks at the door real quick.
일단 뭐 누군지 잘 모르겠고요. 저도 몰라요. 네, 그러니까요. 모를 리가 없는데 그치 나를. 저 아세요?
This mean I'm young, right?
몰라요? 반말하시네요? 모르는데 반말하세요. 춤을 쌉시다 춤으로. 그냥 바로 할게요. 기분이 들어가지고. 진짜 싸우러 왔네.
아 집에 가고 싶다.
Sorry, you can't go home.
진짜
Ooh.
나온다고?
Royal Family, Kirsten. Yep.
다양한 가수분들과 실제로 협업을 하시고 솔직히 탑이죠.
It is interesting they have international people on this show in particular, like multiple continents, not just Asia. So I think that's cool that they have that this time. Feels more like a competition. Looks like they got A-list Japanese crew too.
K-pop is definitely massive globally, but dances are not as global worldwide.
Those are big words. Sheesh.
오히려 좋은 먹잇감이다. 이게 한국의 매운맛이지.
This is what?
재밌겠다. 국제전당 월드 배틀.
What the? Shut up. It's game time.
리스펙 할 수가 없어요.
춤을 저렇게 추는 게 맞나? 존재감이 이렇게 없다니. 듣보잡은.
First couple episodes
무시한 거야? 잘했어.
are going to be interesting for sure. Red card. See, I don't know how the cards
이 판정 인정할 수 없어.
are gonna work.
같이 백제하는 거예요.
They're doing a call out.
하겠습니다.
Oh. I mean,
데스매치 미션입니다.
안무는 제가 여기서 어느 누구보다도 잘 짠다고 생각하고.
oh.
보여줘야겠다.
K-pop.
I don't know how I feel.
하면서 여기까지 왔는데 이거 못하면 죽어야죠.
Leah Kim not doing a K-pop challenge. That's big. I see where they added it to the teaser because it makes people like, whoa, there's a lot of interesting things going on. Talent is powerful. Yeah.
Season 2. Ready? Fight.
Whew. August 22nd is when it's going down. It'll probably be the 21st where I am, but okay, let's talk about it. I don't think for this one I need to slow down because I'm not analyzing any choreography, but real talk, I feel a little triggered by this trailer, just a little bit, because I am really sensitive whenever people demonstrate a very prideful stance. So I recognize I work with a lot of people who are successful in their own right. I too am successful in my own right. Am I the most popular, most famous dancer or choreographer in the world? Absolutely not. Do I want to be in that place? The things I'm passionate about right now, no. I don't expect to be astronomically famous for my choreography, nor for my musicality or dancing. And I'm okay with that. However, those who are in that position of responsibility, it is a blessing to be in that position. But you have to be very careful, I feel, in how you choose to approach stating your scope as an educator, choreographer, or dancer. Now, I will note this too. This is TV, right? This could have been very much edited into a particular way that makes it come across like they're being super prideful, when in actuality, it's just the timing, what clip they chose, and what they chose to say in that moment. So I'm going to give it the true benefit of the doubt that I really hope that how they chose to edit Kirsten from Royal Family, how they chose to edit Mina Myung in that moment with that other dancer, as well as with Leah Kim with the K-pop challenge. I'm going to hope that those were manipulated editing, because if that was the true intention of what each of them said in their own personal regards, I personally don't agree with that approach. Regardless if you're the best in the field, that doesn't give you the right personally to be able to say those types of things in that context, because mind you, remember, so I know they show the different crews. I know, fun fact if you didn't know this, Mina Myung used to dance or teach under 1 million, but I don't believe she is now. This little mess right here. Okay. She used to be under 1 million, but now she is not. And I believe she is competing under a different crew too. So I think there's that. There may be water under the bridge. Don't know. Don't personally know them. Don't know any of that history. But she's not coming from the 1 million port over here. I don't know. She said, I don't know who you are. She said, neither do I. She goes, oh yeah, you must know me though. Now I do know Mina. I know she's had some viral things come out of YouTube. However, I am really hoping, talking down to me, I'm really hoping that this was just strategic editing and this wasn't what really happened, because I do find an issue, because I know in Korean you have informal, formal, and then business or professional. So if it's true that Mina is talking down to her and she doesn't know who she is, that comes across mad disrespectful in Korean culture for sure. And because I know that, I do see that as they added music, of course, and everything, and it creates some tension in the room. Oh, bless him. I think is that Kang Daniel, right? That makes him, as the MC, he doesn't really get to say much stuff, but this is one of our judges here. Let's fight by dancing. Let me just go right away. I hope that's a translation issue. They're here to fight. I mean, yeah, there is a difference between fighting and like fighting through dance and doing call outs and stuff, and then just being disrespectful, like just really being honest. I think that moment, I really hope that that isn't what really I really hope that that isn't what truly happened. I hope it's strategic editing, like I mentioned. Now I know he's with Monsta X. He's a K-pop idol. I think Monsta X was like a Gen 3, I think, right? So I know more about them than I do other groups. Gen 4 I don't really know too much about. But I know he's one of the judges. I'm not the other girl, the other judge. I'm not 100% sure who she is. There's a good chance I've seen her dancing, and there's a good chance I've seen her work, but at an initial look, I don't recognize her. Okay, so it looks like everybody is very intimidated or surprised by Jam Republic. Okay, we need to talk about, out of everybody, I know her the most. Kirsten Dodgen, I think it's how she says her name. So the reason why I know her so well is because she's with Royal Family, or she was with Royal Family for a very long time. Now, if you don't know Royal Family, it is founded by Paris, and Paris is one of the most influential choreographers of the generation. She's done anyone and everyone. So whenever they showed This Girl's Real, Justin Bieber, you had Jason Derulo, there you go, right? Sierra, CL. And I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. So they see her highlighted here, but I want you to notice she was a part of a crew founded by Paris right here. And this is actually Request, which is the crew that she's in, and that was Paris's original crew, and then she founded Royal Family. They had the Palace, the studio. They are the most decorated Hip Hop International gold medalists in the Mega Crew division out of any crew ever. So that is how, for me, I have seen Royal Family establish themselves. Paris, I saw her work when she did Ring-a-Linga by Taeyang, and I have been a fan of her work. At least her 2010 to 2015 era specifically is my personal favorite of hers. Kirsten, I have seen her work, but she is known as a professional dancer, more so than a professional choreographer. So I'm curious if she's going to be, I don't know how they structure the show, but if she has an opportunity to choreograph, I'm curious how that'll go, as well as her freestyle. I don't know what her freestyle is going to look like. And that's my thing with all of these dancers here. Freestyle is very different than choreography. So a lot of these dancers, Leah Kim, Mina Myung, and Bada Lee, I know she's on here too. They are choreographers, you know, so I am very curious what their freestyle is going to look like in comparison to their choreography they bring to the table, because it is a different skill set. And whenever you're overly saturated in a particular scope within the, just within your range. So I know that it was mentioned in here that Leah Kim is, she's done a ton of K-pop choreography, and I know she mentioned something like that in this trailer, and I've seen her work, you know, and I know that she runs 1 Million as well. She's a founder, I think, right? It's interesting to see how she's going to freestyle. So that's just my little side note there. They represent the choreography in Japan. So I'm going to assume they are choreography heavy. Freestyle, I don't know. I haven't seen most of these dancers freestyle, so that'll be these first couple episodes are going to be really interesting, because a lot of these dancers, their pride stems from their choreography, not from their freestyle. So I am so curious how that is going to play in these first couple episodes when they battle each other. So it's because it's different. And they both learned, so they're talking about, there's other dancers. I don't know if they're in the show or not, but they learned from, I'm assuming, this girl here. If they both learned to dance from her, she's either a dance teacher or she is a mentor of some kind. Those types of people have a different air about them, just being honest. Those individuals also, there's a different level of skill set that comes with being influential enough to influence somebody else's fingerprints or movement quality. So I'm very curious about this dancer in particular, how she's going to fare in the show, because other people have been influenced by her. So I'm curious how the audience and other dancers in the show are going to be influenced by her too. Korea, when we have a battle, Japan will win. I mean, Japan is very competitive in the choreographic scene on an international platform. So is Korea, but when it comes to, at least in my scope with Hip Hop International, and very recently they just held their Worlds. I know Japan, when it comes between Korea and Japan typically takes the top spot because of their fluency of the styles they choose to represent on the Hip Hop International rules and regulations guidelines. So, but Korea they fare and they hold their own too. I mean, both of them do a above average job in comparison to the US. In the US, I mean, we have some choreographic edge to some degree, but so does Japan and Korea. Just their foundation, I feel, is overall they train it more regularly in comparison to US. We focus more on choreography in the commercial world because of the media and the job market. So she is talking about the K-pop is definitely massive globally, but dancers are not as global worldwide. So I'm wondering if she's referencing how a lot of them look similar in movement quality, or their choreographic intention looks mechanical. So for me, being very real, when I analyze choreographers based out of Korea, a lot of them they're known for being very clean, right? I would say a couple of dancers to note that are in the show that are honestly my personal favorite. I like Bada Lee a lot. I don't know if I noticed her in the show quite yet, but I know she's on the lineup. I personally really like her choreography because she has a really good groove and texture and how she chooses to attack her music in a choreographic sense. Once again, freestyle, whole nother ball game. I have not seen really any of these people freestyle before. I could be wrong though. Yeah, so you notice how they use their hips. So if you're going to battle people, especially if you're battling people on an international scale, and if they come from backgrounds like New Zealand, or they come from Australia or Africa or South America, you come from like more westernized countries, that type of movement quality is more saturated in the culture than in Korea and Japan and China, you know. And so I think it is very interesting if dancers are going to challenge other dancers who are known for specific skill sets, they're going to challenge them. It is interesting to see what happens to the dynamics of that exchange. From here, it looks like it doesn't look good. I don't know, but they're analyzing whackers. I noticed that they see whacking. I will say, if I would assume that the whackers of this show are probably going to fare better in the freestyle, because the scene, I'm assuming if they do whack, or if they are a whacker, they are in the scene a little bit more. I know Korea has a pretty established whacking community, so I would assume that they are probably going to fare very well in this realm or in this part of the competition, unless the music choice works against them. So if you didn't know this, a lot of the different street styles, or a lot of the different types of genres of movement, they do have different cultures and communities, also different key figures, as well as different music choices, or music that makes up the culture and what helps cultivate the texture and the grooves and the movement quality of the dancers and of the actual movement. So this is how hot Korea is. This is war. It would be so interesting. International battle, world battle. Yeah, very nice. I see it's pretty tense. I'm curious how Jam Republic is going to fare in terms of their TV etiquette, because it is probably, I'm not saying that in like a negative way at all. I'm just very curious how their dynamics are going to be different than those who are Korean or Japanese, because the mentality and how you approach a battle and competitive nature is a little bit different because of the culture. Things about respect, I'm assuming, yeah. Did you ignore me? Then do it properly. No. Okay, Mike Song. I know Mike Song. He's from Kinjas, and I know he's done some work with SMF as a Streetman Fighter. He was like featured on the show, and then they brought him back and stuff. So I do think it's really cool that they do bring him back here. I do like his choreography. He also is very influential because of his crew, Kinjas. So I think that he is, I know I've watched some of his Instagram stories too, because I do follow him on Instagram. I do see kind of his thoughts whenever he's in Korea doing these types of shows, and he always feels very honored and privileged to be in these positions. So I'm very glad that he is here, kind of really taking on the role as not in-house judge, but a judge that is there week after week. Just so I'm curious how his feedback is going to be refined because of the type of demographic of the people who are there, and seeing them not over just 1 week, but over all of the weeks. I think that'll be really cool. And I can't put my finger, I feel like I've seen her before, I just can't put my finger on it. Oh, okay, there's cards, so she would call them out. I can't accept this result. Then she will have to dance battle with the judges. Okay, so a call out. There's nothing, like honestly, I don't think there's anything inappropriate about doing a call out. So if you don't agree with the judge's call, at least in the battle scene that I've noticed, sometimes it is good to be respectful of that, but if you truly feel like it's unfair and a judge can't justify it, sometimes call outs happen. A lot of times it's not in this particular scope at all. Normally it's in a cypher, just in an event, they'll do a call out, and that's just, you just got to lay it out there. You know, you got to prove it. You got to prove it to people. So I think that is so interesting. I don't know who said that, but I think it's interesting that they're going to want to do a call out. I don't know if that's scripted either, because once again, it's TV, so I don't know which part of these things are scripted, which are over-exaggerated, which are under-exaggerated, which are professional, which are inappropriate, those types of things. I don't know that. And I don't know who they're directing it towards. They're making it look like it is towards her, you know, but, I mean, I don't know. K-pop deathmatch mission, I think I'm the best choreographer in the world. That's the statement that I think really rubbed me the wrong way, personally. When you make a statement like, I am the best choreographer, I think I'm the best choreographer in the world, that is really probably one of the most impossible statements to prove as well as validate. Here's why. Because that is such a broad statement to make. If she wanted to say, I think I am the best K-pop choreographer in the world, that I think is a little bit more refined. Still I mean, there's a huge competitive market for choreography for the K-pop realm. I also think though that you can say, I think I'm one of the best, but I really think it is speaking major volumes if you say, I think I'm the best choreographer in the world. That is a really big move to say that you have. And I'm going to be honest, I don't agree with it because as a choreographer, I don't think that there's any one particular choreographer that is inherently the best. I don't think it's possible for there to be one person that is the best that matches all these boxes and all these qualities. Now, do I think she's one of the best K-pop choreographers in the world? I think so, truly. But best choreographer in the world? No. Now, do I think it's a translation thing? It could very well be a translation thing from the closed captions on the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that that is what the true intention of that was. It's she's recognizing, you know, I have a lot of influence and I do have confidence behind my work. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm just going to put it to a translation error. I am not going to project my feelings onto that because I do not know if it is true in context. Yep, so she's the leader of 1 million. We should show us why we're 1 million. K-pop choreography, now I'm on the top working only on this area. If I can't do this, that doesn't make any sense. So I feel that for her, it's a really big deal if she doesn't represent that K-pop match. And I get that. For me, it would be if I am choreographing to a John Bellion song, or if I'm choreographing to classical music. For me, I feel like I should have a higher chance of being rewarded for my work in that choreographic realm than in comparison to doing a Crump styled routine, because I understand my scope. And so I would feel like I let people down, just like what we're about to see. I don't know what the points mean, but it looks like they're eliminated from a particular challenge. That is interesting, and I can see the hurt is very real there. She's a leader through and through. She's a founder, a leader, a mentor to a lot of the people that are representing, that are in that room. And even if they're not on her crew, they have been influenced by her in some way, shape, or form. So you can't negate that. So I do think it's a very interesting thing that this is what they chose to put in the trailer, because it makes me curious about what all's going down. Music videos, looks cool. And I know they have some videos already out, and I may watch those. I think they look super fun. Yeah, cool. So I mean, I feel like it pretty much covered what I feel like the show's going to be about. I think there's going to be some unnecessary drama, but I don't know if that's going to be from the show making it that way or legitimate unnecessary drama. I don't know. I'm not a part of it. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'm going to watch this season because I kind of want to just record my thoughts and see what you guys have to say too, and just kind of get different perspective on this type of show, because I think it's good to promote the dance industry and to promote dancers and choreographers, because I feel like a lot of times when they work with artists, you normally see the artists do the choreography, but a lot of times they are sometimes the unsung heroes of why the choreography looks the way that it does. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, I think. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way. I'm curious if you too are going to be watching this show whenever it releases. I'm curious about the demo videos, what each crew is bringing to the table, the choreographers, the dancers, the mentality, what their approach is for the show. And I'm actually intrigued to learn about the mechanics of the show itself too. So we'll look at it together. I'm excited. So thank you so much, and I will see you later.